Discomfort. Nobody likes discomfort. Today, brothers and sisters, let's reveal, explain, illuminate, and simplify really one of the most powerful topics, one of the most powerful things that you can understand. One of the things that I have a lot of experience with, especially in the area of wisdom. Experience comes from struggle. It's very interesting that, and I talked about it yesterday with the book and the audio on This Too Shall Pass. Like, we go through adversity and we want to get on the other side of that adversity. You know, rightfully so. Nobody likes to experience adversity. But we got to understand that in order for you to be, let's use the word intelligent, or in order for you to have, wisdom, as an old saying, in order for you to be an old wise man, you have to be a young fool. Meaning that in order to gain knowledge and wisdom, you have to go through life experience and education. So nobody want to go through those life experiences. Nobody want to go back to school and learn a new topic and learn a new subject. But in order for you to have wisdom, you have to get some experience. You have to get some knowledge. You have to learn. I come to you today, most days, on a treadmill, in my garage, getting my exercise. Everybody wants to be fit. Everybody wants to be healthy. I do a rotational diet. I do a detox. The detox basically is fasting. Nobody likes, I know, fasting, because going without food, or going without carbs, or going without sugar, whether it's just water, just juice, that's not comfortable. If you don't believe me, try it out, boo-boo. I've been doing this for 30 plus years. And the reason I do it is because of what's on the other side of struggle. What's on the other side of discomfort? Comfort. One of the most powerful things in life is to understand what I talked about yesterday. It's temporary. Once you go into battle, once you go into struggle, once you get into adversity, once you start to experience something, whether we're talking about wealth, health, wisdom, relationships, or your relationship with Yahushua, or HaMashiach, or God, whom we know as Jesus the Christ, you have to go through adversity. Adversity, discomfort, is a part of life. So you got to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. The key to success, my brother, the key to success, my sister, is how comfortable are you with being uncomfortable. See, your spiritual entanglement, as I talked about inside another book. Why do I write so many books, do so many shows, and so many topics? Because I learn by teaching. Because one of the best ways to learn something is to teach it, to share it. Because to teach it and to share it, you got to know something about it. You got to go to the details of it. You got to do some study, some research to get to the other side of mastery. You got to go through study to get to mastery. Well, study could be associated with discomfort. Study could be, associated with struggle. Same thing with the money. So in order to get to the result, this is key. It's very important that we must understand that the feeling and the result are opposites. The feeling and the results are opposites. The feeling and the results are opposite. So you get the opposite of what you're feeling. The feeling and the results are opposite. So if you're feeling poverty from the perspective of voluntarily sacrificing. Now, if it's self-induced due to ignorance, you're going to get wisdom. Because as you're going through, you're going to keep bumping your head up against that brick wall until you learn. So there are no losses. There are just continued lessons. Some of us are slow learners. Exhibit A. Some of us are fast learners. But you're here to learn. Life is a school. You use that term. Life is a place of growth. And we grow through adversity. The same thing with a seed. A seed grows in two directions at the same time. The seed grows down, the roots grow down, the plant, the fruit, the tree grows up at the same time. The tallest buildings have the deepest foundations. Let me say it again slow. The tallest buildings have the deepest foundations. I don't know if you get it. The tallest buildings have the deepest foundations. What that simply means that in order for you to experience and understand light, you have to hang out in the dark. In order to be good, you have to understand evil. Most people have a problem with understanding yin and yang, polarity. I know, it's rough. It's tough to wrap your brain around this topic. I break it down more inside of the book. Pick up the book and the 1-hour audio on discomfort. How to maximize your discomfort. Because success is on the other side of discomfort. Success, wealth, is you have to go through the door of struggle or savings. Health, you have to go through the door of exercise, exorcism, taking out the trash, putting in minerals, putting in sodium, putting in potassium. Because you have sodium and potassium pumps, which is very interesting because that's what the dominant culture tells you not to do. So if you notice pretty much everything that the current narrative tells you not to do is what you should do. So in order for you to experience health, you have to go through the discomfort of what I'm doing right now. Exercise. Because exercise is exorcism. Movement is magic. Next, in order to experience this thing that we call wisdom, you got to go through life struggles. You got to go to school. You got to learn. Next, relationships. In order to experience good relationships, you got to establish healthy boundaries. You might have to spend some time alone. You might have to understand that, ladies, men are fixers. Ladies are processors. So we both have to go through the experience. Men, we have to learn how to listen without offering solutions. Then ladies, you have to learn how to give men respect and not love. So it's two totally different ways or two totally different types of struggle or discomfort. It's not comfortable for a man to watch his woman go through things and just listen. Just listen, man. That's it. You just gotta listen. But we like to fix stuff. So we have to learn how to listen. Then ladies, it's difficult for you to respect a man that's going through growth and learning how to be a man. So you start to disrespect your man, knowingly or unknowingly, usually through your conversations, or usually through your verbiage and your language. And so you start saying disrespectful things. Because to you, it's not disrespectful. You just say it because it doesn't make sense. Because you see the man trying to figure things out. Because men, what do? If men, we got a problem, we go fix it. We figure it out. But that's discomfort. It's uncomfortable. When you're going through the process, man, of figuring things out, of solving your problems, it's uncomfortable. And so it's interesting. As we look at life, nobody talks about life. It's about voluntarily stepping up, going through things that are uncomfortable. I think about when I was in the military. And in fact, I was talking to a guy yesterday, a Marine recruiter, who was in infantry. And he was talking about, the training. Very uncomfortable. Going out there in the field, sleeping out there in the tent, running around in the dirt, war games, preparing for adversity, preparing for combat. Very uncomfortable. But if something pops off, the guy who is the best trained, the guy who is the best at dealing with uncomfortable situations, the guy that is the best at maintaining his composure, who is in the best physical fitness, who has the best use of his skills that he's learned by going through uncomfortable situations, is the guy that's going to come out on top. So your success in life is determined by your struggle in life. It's very, very important that you understand the mechanics of success. So I break it down and go into the book, and I delve more into what I call error correcting codes, what I call how intention collapses waves. We get into the science that confirms the scriptures. We break down inside of the book how when you are able to understand that this too shall pass, that this is temporary, that this has a purpose, that this uncomfortable, what I'm doing right now is uncomfortable, but it has a benefit by allowing me to maintain my cardio system, by allowing me to maintain my weight, by allowing me to take out the trash, by being uncomfortable. The truth is, by being uncomfortable for an hour to experience this thing that we call success. So, for a power goes out again, make sure you pick up the book entitled Discomfort, because it is through your willingness to experience uncomfortable situations that allows you to operate in success. Your willingness to experience the opposite feeling allows you to be successful. Your willingness to save money allows you to experience having money. Your willingness to exercise allows you to experience health. Your willingness, everything is about willingness to experience discomfort. Pick up the book, $29.95 at the website, masterteacher30.com. I love you, appreciate you. We're going to see you at the top. God bless.